Good afternoon. My name is Sandy. That's me right here. I've got an esteemed collection of team members here. We've got Carter, we've got Joe, we've got Emily. We're going to talk to you today about ridiculous apps. And as the name would imply, it's ridiculous apps. And we're going to talk to you about social gaming with a social impact. So everyone's probably heard of social games, right? You've heard of Farmville, Mafia Wars, even Bejeweled. You've probably played them. Data suggests lots of people play these. What data also suggests is very little of that time spent had any positive value on society. People are spending hours and hours and hours fertilizing a farm or killing people without actually benefiting society. So we're talking about social games with a social benefit. Next slide, please. So we think it's a sign that there's a floating shark around here all weekend, and that's what we come up with Sharkolepsy. And Sharkolepsy is a social game. We're going to talk about a social cause. Sharky Sharkface is a global shark that suffers from a problem most people don't know about, which is narcolepsy. He has Sharkolepsy, as we're calling it. And you can do one or two things with Sharky Sharkface. You can poke him to keep him awake, or you can stroke him to put him to sleep. That leads to big results, which we'll get into. So Sharkolepsy, right? It's a game. You can play it on your iPhone, as I see a bunch of the audience. You can play it on Facebook, like all the other social games I've already mentioned. Or you can play it on a website. And it's basically stroke versus poke. Charity versus charity. All that engagement leads to value creation. I'll talk about a little bit how we do that in a moment. But we're going to solicit two charities. One is going to engage their members to go out and poke the shark as hard and as frequently as they can. The other's going to engage their charity to go out and stroke the shark as much as they can. And it's quite simple, it's beautiful in its simplicity, in that stroke versus poke, charity versus charity, we all create value. Social gaming, you might not know, 71% growth, 2010 to 2011. This is what I showed you earlier. 46% of people who are playing social games are spending real currency to buy fake goods that exist only in a virtual world. And 41% of people that play at least 15 minutes a week. Roughly 20% are playing for more than 6 hours a week. $2 billion virtual market. So, where do we fit into that? Well, our business model is pretty simple. It's a free app. Everyone likes free apps. That said, it's advertising supported. But to that virtual good you can buy, we're going to limit how many times you can poke or how many times you can stroke the shark to maybe twice a day. But all that engagement adds value. So let's say you wanted to buy a Red Bull to keep Sharky awake. Or give him a pillow to put him to sleep a little faster, right? You can buy goods in the game. And then there's a paid premium version, so that all you have to do is basically upgrade 99 cents, and you basically get a free version, ad-free version. Our biggest costs are user acquisition. We got to grow users because that's what drives engagement, which drives charity. And of course, you've got to distribute the game, which includes apps, cost of building and cost of getting it out. Our customers. Research well documented, males and females 12 to 39 years old play social games a lot. And they're willing to spend freely to buy apps. All the growth is happening here. They play more, and the growth is happening. 70% growth year over year of folks that are under 30 playing social games. Next slide, please. Our launch plan, who's heard of Shark Week? Oh yeah. Thank you. Shark Week's in July. How perfect for Sharkolepsy and Sharky Shark. So Facebook advertising, not surprising. We had Facebook advertising over the weekend and generated a bunch of clicks on 80,000 impressions, which was kind of neat. We don't even have a game yet. YouTube game trailers, just to show you what to do. You stroke or you poke. Paid search, and we've got charitable partnerships we need to solicit. Customer validation, we did a survey, online focus group talking to people. 66% said this idea is very or somewhat appealing. 54% were willing to spend at least $1. The average price they were willing to spend was $1.18. And what's cool is when we ask people, hey, would you be willing to pay more or play more if that had a social impact, it benefited society for you doing that thing, stroking or poking? 60% said yes. So you know to Carter, who's our Chief Technical Officer, and he'll take you through what we've done.
Yeah, so my name's Carter. Basically, what my job was to do some prototype development. You can also meet Sharky on Facebook. Thank you.
Ridiculous, which is social games and social. The first of many games.
Yeah, we plan on doing more.
So when you're giving that, I'm unclear on the business model. So if you're going to give proceeds to charity, how are you going to cover your costs? And how much do the charities get?
Well, it's not all proceeds go to charity. Roughly 10% of our net profit goes to charities. We which is well above what we've been able to find out. There are some limited games that are doing some social value, just around 1%. I'm not sure if I answered your question about the business model, man.
So the motivation to play would be to help your charity. That's why you go and you buy stuff to pillow or.
Yeah, and it invests the charity in getting their members to sort of, hey, go out and play this game, which drives revenue for us because it's eyeballs for advertising.
And then you have the charity put the word out about the app.
Yeah, and it's sort of fun because it's competing, right? It's not just, well, that doesn't relate to that charity, but it's charity versus charity. It's sort of, bump versus stroke. And it doesn't need to be, any two charities, but it could be, right?
So I like the Red Bull idea of advertising. What other ideas do you have?
But advertising could be anything related to sharks. I mean, obviously Google's got search engines built into, definitely place stuff everywhere, right? So you're playing this game, you're on our website, they could be serving stuff that we're just monetizing. We're bringing the eyeballs. It doesn't need to be product placement. We did build that into the model a little bit, but most of the revenue we're thinking just, we're bringing eyeballs, they're engaging, they're on our website, they're on the phone, that's yielding.
Ray-Ban sunglasses, product placement.
So who did you survey?
A bunch of people in Alaska, a bunch of people in our social network.
So how did you do that?
We did a survey on SurveyMonkey.
Okay.
Pushed that out to our social networks. Did 80,000 impressions on Facebook in the last 24 hours. That drove to our Facebook page where you can take the survey. So a bunch of ways just to try and get a collection of a multitude of people, both in Alaska and out.
When you say stroke or poke, is that literally what you're doing, or is there? I mean, is that it? You just zip or zip? Is that the whole game?
Yep.
So it's not a kind of addictive thing where you're going to do it every day. You just do it atop your chair, basically.
Well, yeah, but you could do it.
Yeah, I mean,
We're limiting the amount of engagement as well. You can't just go. You want to do more of that? You got to pay us more.
Yeah.
and I will say that it's pretty fascinating what has been proven that people will play. There's a game called Cow Clicker, which we kind of base this model off of, and it's literally you just poke a cow, and the cow moves, and you can poke the cow once every 6 hours. And they eventually built some social stuff into it where you can have teams of people poking a cow, and then you can buy different skins for the cow, but that had like 50,000 sales.
So you do that so you can get it where your friends can get a team and.
We would like to do something social, yeah.
So 50,000 sales, what do you mean? Like $50,000? They have 50,000 people?
50,000 purchases of the app.
Like $1.99 or something?
Or what is that?
I think it's
Something like that.
Yeah. So we looked at everything from Farmville just got 20 million users down to non-social games to Cow Clicker. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff out there. Almost 2 social games that it's sort of tough to keep on track of all of them. But it's sort of amazing on the simplicity of actually what people will pay money to do. That's sort of neat to be convinced when we started. Like, wait, people will pay money for this? Yes, yeah, actually they will. We got a question back. I don't know. I don't want to interrupt this.
Ivan, do you judge have more questions?
More questions?
If not, then.
The only other question I have, I get your initial business model. How are you going, you mentioned other games, how are you going to scale this into an actual existing business beyond this game?
So I think in jumping, my team, if you guys have ideas, but there's a shelf life and a half life for games, right? I mean, games grow like this and then quickly, and there's a long tail, but they fall fast. There's a buzz, there's a 9 to 12 months you've got where people are catching on and using, and then it quickly falls. So we talked about a phase 2 for Sharkolepsy, where there's everybody has a shark. We've talked about taking that idea to peacocks, parades or peck. I mean, there's so many, any animal you can pick up 2 things and use the alliteration of 2 actions, right? I mean, so it's a very scalable idea, but it's all simple and beautiful because it's simple. It's not really this complex thing. You're trying to build a mega amusement park. It's just do this or that.
Thank you.